Week 5 starts and sits. Let's get it started. Quarterbacks to start, sit, and some sleepers. Start Jordan Love. This kid just keeps doing it. Every game this year, he's had 20 or more fantasy points. This kid's got a solid floor, and Las Vegas doesn't scare you. Fire him up. Sit Brock Purdy. Bad matchup against Dallas. I still think there's a chance he finishes with his normal 202, but I really don't want to go against Dallas. And that brings me to my other sit, Dak Prescott. I'm not playing him either. Going up against San Francisco 49ers, hard pass. Stay away from tough defenses if you can, and you definitely can with these two. My sleeper plays on Thursday, Sam Howell. Sam's been pretty good. 20 or more points in 2 out of the last 3 games, and he plays against Chicago? Yeah, fire him up. CJ Stroud, 20 or more fantasy points in each of the last 3 games. This man is steady. Kid can ball. Fire him up. And Joshua Dobbs. We thought this team was tanking, but he's had 23 or more points in 2 of the last 3 games, and he gets to go against the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't scare you. Week 5 wide receivers to start and sit. Michael Pittman Jr. He had an awful game last week. Only had 1 reception for 15 yards, but he's going up against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans won't let you run on them, but they will let you pass on them. Fire up Pittman. Plus, Anthony Richardson and Michael Pittman came into the game with Step Brothers shirts on. You can't let your man go out like that wearing a Step Brothers t-shirt. He makes up for it this week. He had a rough week last week, but start Zay Flowers. The Steelers are a bottom 5 defense against the wide receiver. It should be the Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews show. Sit Drake London. Yes, he got you a touchdown last week, but he only had 3 receptions for 28 yards. He's not going to get a touchdown every week, guys. He's not a viable start on a regular basis until Taylor Heineke starts. Then he might be viable. Sit Jerry Jeudy. He hasn't been great recently. He's also questionable, but on top of all of that, he's going against the Jets. Jets are incredible defense, and they have a top 3 defense against the wide receiver. I'm not trusting Russ to get it to Jerry Jeudy. That's a pass for me. Week 5 running backs to start and sit. Start Brian Robinson. He's had meh games the last couple games, but he's going up against the Bears, who are the 2nd worst run defense in the league. And we know he's going to get the carries. You got to stay in the flames with David Montgomery too. 32 carries last week? Are you kidding me? Yes, fire this guy up. He is a lineup lock until proven otherwise. I can't believe they gave him all these carries after coming off of injuries. Don't expect 3 touchdowns every week, but the Panthers are a bottom 5 defense against the run, so it's going to be a long day for them Panthers. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Breece Hall, he's not been good so far this year, excluding week 1, but he gets to go against the Denver Broncos, who are literally the worst defense in the league against the running back position. Fire up Breece Hall. They're going to need to have a balanced offense to help Zach Wilson out. I do think Zach's getting better, but a nice run game really helps. I think they run the ball more to open up the passing lanes. Breece Hall should eat. Also, apparently he's not on a snap count anymore. That's fantastic. I know the running back position is rough, so you probably can't sit these guys, but temper your expectations. Miles Sanders had a bad game against Minnesota. He did get 13 carries, and I love the targets, 3 targets in this one. The problem is he's questionable right now. He's pretty banged up. I think that the team works in the backup a little bit more, Chuba Hubbard, and he's going against Detroit, who is a bad matchup for him. If you have other alternatives, you might want to look into him. Zach Moss. He is definitely getting the carries, 18, 30, 18, but he gets to go against the Tennessee Titans, who is a very good run defense. Like I said before, you may not be able to bench him, but temper your expectations. It's going to be a long day. Tight end to start, sit, and a sleeper. Start Zach Ertz. The man is getting the targets. He's had 8 or more targets in 3 of 4 games and double-digit targets in 2. While they're giving him the volume, you gotta stay in the flames. Plus, Cincinnati is a bottom 5 defense against the tight end. Fire him up. Sit Cole Kmet. Before this man had his 2-touchdown game, he had not gotten 10 fantasy points. If you are starting him thinking you are getting last week's production, this is a different defense. Last week you went against the terrible Denver Broncos. This week you got the Washington Commanders. They're a top 3 defense against the tight end. Sit his butt. My sleeper is Tyler Conklin. Did y'all see what Cole Kmet just did to them Broncos? Well, Tyler Conklin gets them this week. Broncos, the worst defense in the league against the tight end position. Fire up your Tyler Conklin. He might have himself a day. Defenses I love this week. The Detroit Lions. Back-to-back games with 10 or more fantasy points. And they get to go against the Carolina Panthers with that rookie. Aiden Hutchinson is going to feast. Watch out for them Lions. Next up, Washington Commanders going up against Chicago, Even if Fields does his thing, the team's probably still going to fumble the ball, throw a pick, and definitely get some sacks. Washington should be a good option. The Bears are the second best team for an opposing defense. Fire them up. Psst. I got a sleeper for you. Houston Texans. They've had back-to-back games with 12 or more points, and they get to go against the Atlanta Falcons. Their quarterback, Desmond Ridder, is bad at football. Expect a pick and a fumble and a few sacks. The Falcons are allowing the 5th most points to fantasy defenses. I think this is a solid shot in the dark. I hope you liked my starts and sits. I got a lot of stuff coming out this week. I plan on teaching y'all a little more about fantasy football and showing you where everything stands through the first 4 weeks. Click here to check out more.